on support in the fight, cast all your spells for max range, go fucking hide, and just wait for them
Yes.
to be
Dude,
off
I have
of
a great
cooldown.
story about
Just
this.
wait. Literally just wait. That's so hard for a lot of people because they just like right click on their ancient apparition. But
Yes.
what you have to understand is that your right clicks literally are having they're having is basically
It's
zero
fine, like
impact.
early game if you're right clicking, just have some nuance. But the point is like, especially late game, why is your support hero good? Is it because the ringmaster like throws like the little orb? No, that's like completely worthless. Your spells are what's strong. So like,
Welcome to the Super Spreader Podcast, aka the
oh
Dota Club
no, the
Podcast. I'm
super
gonna
spreader
I'm gonna
podcast.
expose you because I'm salty. It was Pine who got everybody sick at the event. He came to the event Thursday
Uh,
night.
I don't know
Bro
if that's
was
true,
bro was
guys.
sniffling and coughing, and I was like, "Are you sick?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't think so. I think I'm like getting over it." But he's
No, I
coughing up
don't
a
think this is
storm.
true at all, guys. I actually, somebody got me sick on the airplane over. So blame the
Uh-uh.
super spreader on the airplane
No,
from San Francisco.
that doesn't line up because you told me that you'd been sick for a few
No,
days, and
what
then you were
happened?
weaning
No, I
off
had a
it.
scratchy
That doesn't line
throat
up.
because I was yelling a lot, right? So I had some laryngitis, which isn't, that's not super spreader material. But that probably made me more vulnerable. So I actually got screwed over, most likely. Um, anyways, so we're on the hunt for the super spreader, the Necro, the Viper in the arena,
That's
the
funny.
Venomancer.
You're the Venomancer,
I
bro.
might be, but I
Fucking
actually hit the
that
fucking
facet where the old
no,
spreads
no. I
everywhere in
I
the
was gonna
arena.
say I genuinely hit the 1,000-man plague.
Yeah, that's really funny.
I hit the
Dude,
thousand man plague. Holy shit!
I got a comment on my YouTube video about identities this morning, and I wanted to talk to you about it. And it's funny
Okay.
because I feel like we anticipated like getting a comment like this on the video just based on the nature of the video. And the
Yeah.
comment is, and I don't want to talk too much about it because it's just like one hater, but it's we need to we need to take down this video with reports. This guy must be Harold.
Which video was this? Sorry.
The identity video. And we had talked about
Good
before, like
lord.
I kind of anticipated getting some comments like that because in that video, I feel like that video was the
Fuck.
product of you and me like parallel learning Dota for a really, really long time.
The
And
concept, yeah,
coming
yeah.
to the conclusion of that concept of
There's
something
so
that's
many
really
layers to that
did
concept as
but
well.
but it comes out very simply and like elegantly. Honestly,
Yes.
I didn't word it like that well in the video compared to what it
Mhm.
could
Well,
be.
it's hard to
But
explain because
yeah,
we literally have discussed this over like months and months and months, and there's like so much context that we're using to like describe this idea.
but I think still, and if you guys haven't watched the video, it's just the latest video on
It's really
Krabby
good.
Dota. And I'm not gonna like explain what the video is, but basically it's a pretty simple concept, and I feel like a lot of people will watch it and feel like they already do what I'm explaining, or think that a lot of it is like intuitive and it's based on somebody learning the game. And I think a lot of Dota is like that, honestly, where like people will watch pros do something and it looks very simple, but they don't do it, and they have no self-awareness to realize like they don't do it.
Yeah. Okay, so my thoughts on that is there's a couple things. First off, I think a I think the video, like, I think the concept could be better explained just because, as you said, like, it's a pretty. I'm gonna give context just for like people who haven't seen the video, like briefly, but it's a video. I mean, you should also go watch the video, but the video is just about hero identities, and more importantly, it's like, okay, so how do you use this? I'm gonna use a quick example, which is Ember, but like, how do you use this identity to play on the map? It's like, what's strong about your hero? What's your hero's weapon? And then how do you use it? So for Ember, his weapon is he's really hard to gank. He puts down the remnant and he can get away, right? So that's the weapon being described. Like, oh, okay, so like he's pretty strong early with his sleight, and he can put a remnant and just but like, okay, so not including what you do on the map, the identity is bro can get away. That is the identity, okay?
It's just what Ember can do really well that other heroes don't do as well. Like
It's
what
well, it's
makes
not it's not
Ember
about what other
unique.
heroes can't do well. It's just what's Ember's weapon? What's his power,
Yeah,
right?
what makes him unique. A lot
But
of times that weapon.
it doesn't have to be he can get away and like other heroes can't do it because other heroes can get away. But like in particular,
Yeah,
it's
but
just
Ember's
Ember
particularly good at it.
in certain situations. Like it's just that he has the remnant down. Like other heroes can get away. Like Slark can get out of like a gank with the stun, better. But Ember can like react to like he can like know people are coming and then like waste their time. But that's a lot of nuance. Basically, Ember gets away, right? But then the thing you have to do, the next level of thinking is, okay, so since I can get away, what do I do? Right. And so the way we were describing with Ember is like, I can get away and Ember's strong early. So I go into their space and take their shit and like farm their camps. Cause he's not like some giga flash farmer. So let me take their camps to slow them down. And then they bring everybody. I remnant away. GG. Like, you guys lost. I win. Okay. But the problem is everyone goes, they hear the first part, like Ember remnants away, and they're like, yeah, bro, you ever play Ember? Look at the spells, dumbass. And it's like, yeah, man. But then what do you do with the fucking spells? Okay. And then you go into the comments. So this is something I actually just genuinely want to talk about. But then you go into the comments, and it's all these people saying, this is so obvious. This is so obvious. This is what I think the identities are. And no comments get it. Literally zero of these people in the comments.
Okay, a lot of the comments didn't say that it was obvious, and I put a call to action for more context. I said,
yes,
comment what hero you play and what you think their identity is, and I'll respond and tell you. And I gave all these like savant examples. Like, I was talking about Lifestealer, and his identity is like staying in the safe lane, and he kind of wants to get ganked because his weapon
is living.
He's the hardest safe laner to gank in the game. Yeah, his weapon is living because of Rage and Infest, and how he uses that on the map is he stays in his safe lane for a really long time and defends his tower and defends that space, which is good for a lot of reasons. And then a lot of you guys commented on what you thought your hero's identity was.
Which is nice. Thank you for commenting.
Yeah, it's nice. In retro, I think... Yeah, I might make a follow-up video on it because I feel like a lot of people didn't fully get the concept. But at the same time, like, people really like the video. Like, I think even the first step was a lot more than people are used to doing.
Yes, I agree.
And I got a lot of nice comments too, and like people who told me in coaching sessions that like they weren't used to thinking about the game like that, and it's kind of like mind-blowing for them. I had somebody tell me recently that he thinks that this is really funny because it's not true at all. But he thinks I'm like AUI 2000, but better because I studied.
But better is just so crazy
because I studied data science in school.
Better is so insane. That is really funny.
But yeah, so I do think the video was like a success in that regard. But I think I only communicated the first step in terms of like getting people to think about what their hero does. But then the step beyond that, again, there's two steps. One, what is your hero's weapon? And then two, how should they play the map, the lane,
how do you
whatever,
use your weapon?
Based on the weapon. Yeah, how do you use your weapon? That's a good way to put it. So I think I'm going to make a follow-up video, actually.
Yeah, you should, because I think the two-step thinking, the two-step thinking process really clarifies it, even for us. Like, thinking of it that way makes it so much easier to think of heroes' identities. Because if you start asking the question, like, what's the hero's identity? Like, that's so nebulous. You're like, Jesus Christ, like, what is the hero's identity? Like, I don't know. Like, if you ask a hero, I don't, like, what's Marcy's identity? But it's like, okay, what's Marcy's identity? Fucking jump, do, right? Like, that's Marcy's identity. So, like, what do you want to do? You want to, like, have some guy to jump off of, and like play behind your guy.
That's her weapon. Her weapon is the jump.
Yeah, that's her weapon. So like, what are you gonna do with the weapon? You're gonna have some guy to jump off of it, and you can jump in and then like that's GG, right? So you kind of need somebody to play behind, and like you need a little bit of setup because Marcy's jump isn't easy to hit. But like if you can connect, you're gonna like destroy somebody. And like if they have mobility, it's not gonna work, right? Because dash away, like it's over.
A really clear one for me.
Yeah.
And full disclosure, Pine and I understand some heroes way better than others, right?
Yeah, some people think we like understand every hero. They're like, can you say every single hero's like what's Visage? Like, the fucking birds like hit the tower, like Jesus.
Yeah. Oh damn, I had something I wanted to say.
Sorry, my bad.
No. But what I was gonna say, this isn't what I wanted to say. What I was gonna say, a clear example is like Ancient Apparition. His weapon, overwhelming damage.
Blast.
So what do you need to do or what prevents you from using your weapon? They're not stunned. They just walk away. So what's your identity? Just go stand by your stunner because all you need is a stun.
And then how do some people use
their
how do some people use their AA blast? Fucking. And then it's just like not even close. It's like hey, your weapon. Map. Yeah, and now your weapon sucks, man, because you can't land it. Dude, land it. That was actually the exact other thing I'm gonna say is like some people in the comments are gonna say, and I'm about to go in on a lot of people here, okay? Like not just the comments, like someone else is about to get some flame. You're gonna see, but like the comments are like, this is so obvious. This is so obvious. Oh my god, anyone's doing this. Flash or I'm tuning into, as in you're tuning in, this is your story, into Lukey Lukey's stream, and he's
Oh
on
yeah.
Mars with AA. And are
Yeah.
the Mars and AA, this is a higher ranked NA game, are the Mars and AA connecting and landing the spear blast? No, dude, they're not doing that.
Yeah.
Fucking AA is standing across the entire map. And then, meanwhile, like Mars isn't going to AA isn't going to Mars. Get in a smoke
And
together.
the thing is, it's not that they never connect, because in team fights, the AA has the awareness to know to cast it on somebody who's stunned. But like, if
map.
you're really playing to AA or Mars's identity, I honestly think this is both heroes' fault, because the nice thing about my camera just
zoomed out. Hello, what was that fucking?
I'll fix it after I say this, but
yeah.
Oh fuck! I was gonna say something really good.
It's AA and Mars's fault. It's
yeah. The nice thing about like these identities is that peak live editing. That's fucking funny.
That's crazy.
It's that the onus is on either of the heroes. Like if you're the Mars or the AA, I mean, technically where you go on the map matters, and honestly, a lot of the time it's better if the AA goes to the Mars, because usually that'll be like in front of the safe lane and you'll kill the enemy carry. But for a pub, like either hero could just go stand in front of the other hero and something would die. And so if you're playing to this identity of that combo, it's like right when AA hits 6, that's the timing and they should connect. But in this game, that was not happening. And the AA was tilted, so maybe that was like affecting his gameplay. But if this was like peak EU Koifa pub, you know, when the AA hit 6, he's going to just stand with
that
Mars.
guy's just going to stand on the Mars.
Because they can literally kill any hero in the game with Arena right now.
And then, I mean, if you play Mars, are you going to fix your camera?
Yeah, but you can talk.
Yeah, I mean, if you play Mars as well, you know that like Mars's damage has gone down and down and down over the years, right? Like,
but AA just has enough these days.
Yeah, exactly. So like, as Mars, you used to just like completely one-shot people in your arena and you didn't need anyone. But now it's like, you're like a little cuck. Like, you do 0 fucking damage. So with that being said, like, so it's not just A blasts so much damage, wow, like that changes how I play the map, right? Let's say there's a fight on a tower and AA's there. I'm more inclined to TP as Mars because holy, the identity fucking arena spear and the guy just gets one shot. But let's say my AA is like across, is like where I am, like I don't want to TP to this unless he TPs. How about we just smoke and go somewhere else, right? Like now we're playing to the identity. That's it's changing how you're playing the map. It's not just about the weapon. The weapon is the AA blast. The weapon is the Mars Arena Spear AA blast. It's like, okay, so now I make decisions based on that because I want to put myself in the strongest position where my weapon is the most useful, right? So like for Ember in the example, like, oh my God, he can get away so well. Let me go hit my ancients. What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? Go hit their ancients. Go to their map.
I think an interesting part about this identity talk is like, I think it honestly took me making that video for you and I to discuss and come to like that 2-step formula. Like we never discussed the 2-step formula before. Yeah. And I think that was a good example of like live parallel learning, which we talked about parallel learning before. It's just like learning something at the same time with somebody of similar skill. Yeah. And I thought that was really cool because now even like, we understand the whole identity bit a lot more.
Because that video was like representative of our thoughts on the idea at the time, and it wasn't complete, which is why maybe people missed the point. Because I mean, it makes sense that like people aren't going to like, you know, connect the dots because they already are struggling to understand like the simple concept. Or,
like I said, people got a point, you know, people already got the first step.
People were like, my Invoker's weapon is jungling or something. It's like, I don't know, bro. Right? Like I would not say that's Invoker's weapon.
Come on, dude, he has the Forge Spirit.
No, a lot of people as well. Like, here's the issue that I saw with a lot of the comments that got me is a lot of people just summarize what the hero does, which kind of includes their weapon. But like, I'm not, listen, if you commented this, I'm sorry. Okay. But like one person said like Wraith King's Wraith King's weapon. Think of what we just said for Ember's weapon, right? It's like pretty distinct and it's like based in like what's happening in the game and it relates to like what's going to happen on the map.
Wait, it's funny because one of Wraith King's weapons is actually jungling.
Yeah, no, I mean that's true. That's true. But that's not what he wrote. He said Wraith King's weapon is to go off lane and bait the enemy to pick anti-mage and like Medusa and Slark.
Okay,
what does that mean, dude? How is that his weapon? I mean, his weapon's to be counterpicked and then you're offlane and you're useless? What are you talking about? That's his weapon.
Is funny because I literally feel like we're English teachers like grading essays.
Yeah,
that's like literally what this is.
No, like F, you missed the point, dog. Like F. What about what he does in the game, man? In the game. What about his spells? What about the stun? What about the skeletons? What about the respawn? Like, we're going to talk about any of that, but you're like, his weapon is to, like, make the enemy pick anti-mage. What the hell are you
I
talking
really like
about?
Wraith King. I think I understand him well. His
Yeah.
major weapon is for enemies to use really big spells on you before you reincarnate, and then you just
Yep.
come back and kill him. Or that's like one
Yep.
of his big
And
weapons.
that's why he's really good in the heroes that have like big spells that are committal. And then,
Yeah.
so how do you want to
Or
use your
actually, that's his identity. What I just said, not his weapon is reincarnate. That he has 2 lives, and then the identity is you want to frontline in the fights and then have
exactly? Well, yeah,
heroes use spells on you.
exactly. The
So an
weapon is
interesting
reincarnate.
conclusion based on that I came to actually thinking about that comment was that, and this is different that a lot of other carries play on Wraith King. You want to like go first, and if you're not going first or very early in a fight, you're like actively griefing, right?
Yeah.
And on so many other carries, it's different. Like you want to show up pretty much as late as possible and just clean
Yeah.
up.
And the I
Um,
mean the other thing as well is like we've discussed committing before, but there's like a very fine threshold between what's committing and what's not, right? Because like let's say you're Wraith King and you're like, I'm gonna go first. Yeah, I'm going first. And then you run in and you die to like Tinker Laser and like a vessel. It's like they didn't do anything, right? Like you just fed, right? But if they like go in and like not even it doesn't even have to be like long cooldown ults. Let's say like the Ember Remnants in and starts hitting me and the supports start hitting me and they're like running forward. Like that level of commitment is what I'm looking for. So I think the point about Wraith King's weapon, like his weapon's reincarnate, but what it allows you to do is you can, because he's also tanky, like you can force enemies to commit on you and overextend without dying, right? And that's your goal. So how do you use the weapon in fights? You do it's not just about going first. You need to go first in front of your teammates. So after they press the buttons and they have cooldowns, your teammates attack enemy
yeah,
and like they can't defend themselves with their spells now. If you just say I got to go first and you're on the high ground and your whole team's like in base, you're just a feeder, right? Like that's completely useless. You need your teammates there to
and
follow up on the reincarnate strength.
and that also synergizes with the slow on the ult, which I think is
Yes,
really cool.
they jump you
Dude,
and they get
it's almost
slowed.
like Valve designs heroes based on identities. I'm not saying
Yeah,
they do,
it's clean.
but yeah, it's really clean. This is part of what makes Dota like
Even think
such a
like the
cool game. Because I just made
yeah
that connection now between like
yeah
the Wraith King slow and like him going
yeah
in, but like near the enemies, and then when he dies, that's your team's like counter initiation, right?
yeah
It's so
like
cool. Wraith King is so
yeah.
squishy these days, though, dude. Low key,
No, he just
like
dies. He literally just
fuck.
dies.
He
Uh,
dies casually. That's the
no,
problem. Like you
exactly.
don't
You
need
don't
to
want to
use
die
spells.
casually, and he just literally gets like shit on.
Yeah, maybe we should
Yeah,
flesh out the casual ID. Even though you kind of explained it a little bit, I think we use
yeah.
that terminology a lot, and it's a good idea. So when we say casually, it basically means just like without using any big spells. So like
If
two
you're dying to
vessel
like
plus
slight chains and
vessel
some
tinker
buttons, it's
laser is a good
over.
one. Yeah,
Yeah,
slight change Zeus Thunderbolt, like
yeah. Like it's not
that
like
kind of shit.
wow, like
Versus like
go.
RP, you know,
Yeah, or like
RP
even
is
like
not
AA
casual.
blast, or even like hoodwink blast or hoodwink
Yeah,
ult, right? Like that's like okay, there we go. Like we can fight now.
that's a
But
good like
yeah.
middle ground actually. I would say those
Yeah,
spells.
because it's like 45. Yeah, exactly. That's why I think, but like that's still like using Wraith King's weapon enough. If your
Yeah,
teammates like let's say the hoodwink starts fucking and then teammate hears it, okay, and then they jump the hoodwink, like weapon used.
yeah.
Incredible gamer played. Like the other thing I wanted to say really quick, I mean that was like kind of my whole point, but dude, the Wraith King like slow really adds to it because I was also thinking like when you're like this offlane like Octarine, BSJ, Brian Slam Judas, like
Oh
Wraith
no.
King, um, you also take like the stun on reincarnate, right? So like let's say they're all committing like get the Wraith King, we can kill him once, we can kill him once, fucking
Yeah.
ravage, whole team, look at my team looking, kill them all. So like it's really good. Um, yeah.
What do you think about the Brian Slam Judas Wraith King build? What is your opinion on it? Do you like the
I
Octarine core?
I could give my very uninformed opinion because I haven't played
That's
any
true.
Wraith King this
Have
patch.
you even watched the video?
No, I haven't watched the video. I haven't played
Okay,
Wraith King this patch.
maybe
I
we
also
shouldn't
do
talk
not
about this
plan
then.
to play Wraith King this patch.
Yeah.
I think it's not great, right? Like I think it's alright. I think Wraith King offlane's chill, but like we saw Wraith King offlane in Raleigh, and then they just built like carry, right? So it's like
Yeah.
it.
I
Where was
mean,
the Octarine
I
core?
do think not here, not in Raleigh.
It
I
wasn't in
think
Raleigh. I'll tell you that. It's in my pubs.
Wraith King is one of the best pub heroes in the game though. So I think
Yeah,
it's
he's
good
super
in
good.
pubs.
He has super high
It's
win rate.
interesting.
So
His win rate's always like 50, it's like 57% always in like Herald or something.
yeah, I hate that.
And why? It's because people commit on him
Yes.
with reincarnate. That's exactly why. Or
Like,
when he has his ult
get
up,
him.
they use the huge spells on
Dude,
him, and
you
then
know what
he
they
just cleans
do?
up.
I feel like this is what they do is that as he's reincarnating, they all like stack on the body, like get him again,
Yeah,
like get him, and then they're just like 5 people stacked on like this thing, like super slow, the super slowers. And then they just get like RP'd or something, or like ravaged.
Yep.
They just die. But
But
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna change the topic a little bit, but
I
I'll
want to
just do
like
it.
wrap up
Oh,
the identity point. That's all. Because yeah, I just think there
yeah,
was a
you
lot
can
of
say a bit.
yeah, I think there was just a lot of comments that didn't get the point, which we discussed. Like, I mean, we've already gone in on a couple of them. There's like Invoker, you just jongle, or like Wraith King, you just like get they pick anti mage. Like genius. Like now I like what you need to. Basically, the second order of thinking that you need to start doing is like, okay, so how does this idea about what the hero does change how I play the map or the game, right? And also, I just think that like a lot of the comments just summarize what the heroes do. One of the comments about Invoker was also like he wants to like cast his spells efficiently. What does that mean, dude? Like, what do I do with that
Yeah, like
information?
of course you want to cast your
Of
spells
course,
efficiently. You
but
want to
like,
do
okay,
that on
so
every hero in the
yes,
game.
but like, where should I play on the map as Invoker? Where should I should, but like, there was some good comment or content in the Invoker comment because he had another one, and this like based on that information, like, okay, he's like a backline caster. It's like you want to show up late to the fight, right? You want to be at range and play the outskirts. You have this ghost walk, like that's the stuff you should be saying. But like the like he likes to jongle and like cast his spells well. It's like, dude, that's like completely useless, man.
Yeah,
You need like
there
a
was
actionable information.
yeah,
All right,
I
go ahead.
feel like there were a few like decent
No,
comments too. No, no, no.
no, sorry. Yeah,
There
there
was a
were.
tiny one. I was reading this last night, and he said
Oh
that
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that
blink,
one.
avatos, repeat, and then he said a good point, which it's not true all the time, but in general, he said, "Run if the enemy doesn't die in one combo,"
That's true. You just kite
which
out
is
and wait
good,
for the
which implies
combo.
kiting and wait for. Well, he didn't say kite and wait for the combo. I hope that was implied.
Yeah, because the
Um,
weapon's the combo.
yeah, this is another thing I want to stress just for myself,
Yeah.
honestly. But I was coaching a support yesterday, and we were talking about this a lot. And it's just it's interesting how high skill this is. And you probably know what I'm going to say. We've talked about this a lot, but it's such a timeless idea.
Hmm.
Is on support in the fight, cast all your spells from max range, go fucking hide, and just wait for them
Yes,
to be
dude.
off
I have
of
a great
cooldown.
story about
Just
this.
wait. Literally just wait. That's so hard for a lot of people because they just like right click on their ancient apparition. But
Yes,
what you have to understand is that your right clicks literally are having they're having is basically
it's
zero
fine. Like
impact.
early game, if you're right clicking, just have some nuance. But the point is like, especially late game, why is your support hero good? Is it because the ringmaster wow like throws like the little orb? No, that's like completely worthless. Your spells are what's strong. So like, and xcal had a really good tweet about it, which was um basically like your goal in fights on any hero pretty much was which is what was implied. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
um
don't do this if you're a
Basically what was
support.
it,
PSA.
yeah, what was implied by the xcal tweet was like most heroes, but obviously it differs when you're a right clicker, but it's still like the point applies is in fights your goal is to press your spells and then it is to wait for your spells, right? Because the spells are like just wait for your spells, especially on casters. Like your goal is to press all your buttons properly and then simply live till the next buttons. And if you do that 5 or 6 times in a fight, I guarantee you, you will win the fight because the other guy is going to press his button once and go, yeah, go, like straight into the enemy team and just die instantly. Okay. So,
Dude,
yeah,
the unfortunate thing, or not unfortunate, you just have to tank this. But when you do
yeah.
that in pubs and you kite, like you will get
Dude, people
flamed.
get so
I
mad.
just
I
I
mean,
just want to
yeah,
say that so people
yeah,
prepare, but you need to
yes.
stay strong. Like you're doing the right thing if you don't have cooldowns and you're not like committing in the fight.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've told this story on the pod before, but I have a pretty visceral example where I'm like Monkey King, and Monkey King, people think he's like some guy just I mean, any of these like heroes that have like the stacks like Ursa, Monkey King, Slark, people literally think you just sit there and like hit the guy to death, which you don't do. You kite on all three of those heroes. But I just remember like I'm playing Monkey King and I'm like in the trees and I like hop down, hit the guy like 3 times, stun his ass, like hop back in the trees and I'm scouting. And meanwhile, my support Lion like blinks literally genuinely melee range, stuns the floor, and then feeds in 2 seconds. And then he like starts flaming me in mic like Monkey King. All you do is hop in tree. It's like that's like half my kit, dude. Like, what are you talking about? I hop in tree. Like, of course I hop in tree, man. Like I'm not gonna stand in an enemy. I'll tell you that much right now. Um, Oh, I had another really good like anecdote. Oh no.
While you think of it, I just want to say hello to everyone in chat. We have a
Yeah,
lot of
hello
viewers
chat.
today.
Feel
What's
free
up,
to say
guys?
something.
Yeah, feel free to say something, introduce yourself,
Yeah.
or if you already know us, like say what's up. It's cool that we have some viewers now.
Oh, yeah. Another thing, I mean, this relates to the identity point is uh like the original comment that we were discussing is everyone says it's so obvious, right? Oh, this guy must be Harold if he thinks that it's information that Ember remnants away or whatever. But you already discussed this with your coaching students, right? Like you say, hey, what would you do in this situation? And he's like, I would do this. And then you watch the game and he just does the exact opposite thing. And it's
Yeah.
because it's like simple concepts are easy to understand in isolation. But in the moment in Dota, there was also, you made the stupid stack video recently, like you rehashed it. And that's a great one, which is just like you perform worse under certain circumstances because you're stressed, et cetera, et cetera. And Dota is a stressful game. Like it's hard to make the proper decisions, especially in the moment. Of course, after the fact, another way to look at it is when you are studying for a test and like the teacher's like, here's the study guide and the answer key. And you're just looking at the answer key. You're like, dude, everything is so obvious. Oh my God. Like the math problem, the answer, that makes sense to me. Then you go to the math test and you're looking at the actual problem with no answer key. And you're like, oh boy, oh, here we go. Like it's looking pretty rough. The answer key is the identity video. And so you're watching the identity video, hearing Ember remnants away. You're like, duh, a fucking adoy, bro. I'm going to remnant away. And then what are you doing on your remnant or your Ember? You literally coached an Ember. And like, he's like making stacks and farming it with Flame Guard. It's like, that ain't it. That's not the Ember thing, bro. That's actually the opposite. Like, get in there, attack.
Yeah, and I would feel that when I was like studying for tests and you're looking at the answer key and you think, oh, it's so easy, it's so intuitive, you know, and then
Yes,
you get
I
to the
literally
test
did
and
that
you like
last
bomb
week,
that
a
shit.
couple days ago.
Yeah.
I was like looking at the answers, like I know everything on the study guide, and then I get
So
to the test,
free.
and it's like the first. I literally look at like the first question. I'm like, oh no,
Yeah.
like oh no, it's gonna be a rough one.
There's another good Dota analogy, and I actually, so this is a concept that you and I have talked about a lot.
Yeah.
And one of my coaching students was talking about it, but he had like a really good analogy for it, and I want to share it. So shout out to him. The real life example, it's like the history metaphor or whatever, that hard times create strong men.
Okay.
Wait, yeah, hard times create strong men, and then
strong men create easy times, and then easy times.
Yeah, strong men create easy times create weak men. So the analogy is that when you're down bad in like Dota ranked and you're losing a bunch of MMR, that creates a strong player because you don't want to lose MMR and you like fight back, right? And then you start winning a lot. And then when you're winning a lot, you get complacent and you start playing worse. Yes. And then so you get down bad again. And then it's just like that cycle. And I've experienced that as well, where like when you're winning a lot, you really just get complacent. And you like the phrasing that we've used to talk about this before is you forget why you got to that place. You forget how much focus it took every game. You forget all the little things that you've been doing, all the discipline that you had. And then you start losing. So, you know, this is a reminder to myself and everyone watching to remember why you got there. And you need to, no Dota game is easy.
Dude, like, you can relate this not even to like your general MMR climb, but in the individual game, this happens so often where the strong men create easy time.
You and I in the strong men,
like,
that's so real.
The strong men on Ember TA. Who could it be?
So real.
But the strong men on Ember TA create easy times because we're like 16-0. It's whatever. Like anyone who's
I'm traumatized from you saying that, dude. That's too
the strong
real.
men create easy times, and then everyone starts like chilling. Okay, everyone starts. We literally had a game like this where you and me were Ember Prophet, and I was having like a monster game. Like I like TP'd like level 7 with a rune and got like an ultra kill in a fight. Anyways, so we're like completely carrying, and then the enemy team finally hits all their timings, okay? Because we've been like crushing them for like 15, 20 minutes. And then they get like a Radiance and like 2 BKBs at the same time. And you pointed out, you say, yo, like before you were saying, let's fight before this Radiance. And then you and me were both like, okay, they just got Radiance, 2 BKBs. It was this Kunkka with Radiance. I'm like, avoid the Kunkka, guys. That guy is going to kill everyone. And like, if Kunkka TPs anywhere, we got to just go to the other side of the map, fight, blah, 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 blah. And I just remember there was one fight where you and me were like genuinely both 200 gold from BKB, and we're living in the easy times right now. We're living in the easy times because we're all fed and we're feeling great. And then our whole team just runs in at the Kunkka. Everyone starts on the Kunkka. 200 gold from my BKB. We all fight. I show up. I'm stupid stacked up, and then we just all feed. And it's like why, guys? We were so disciplined for 20 minutes, and then we just all fed like animals. Like, why did we do that?
I mean, I think it's just because our team doesn't understand like timings, and that you and I were strong, but now
you and me became weak men too because we showed up and just fed.
Yeah.
Right. And it's because I was like, I'm feeling. There was another one where you died, and I was like, I still don't have my BKB, but I was like, I'm going to go in there and like mess with them and remnant away. And then I just got like put in the X, bomboed, like instant blasted. And it's like, I am a weak man made from the
Uh,
easy times. Like, I am weak.
yeah,
I
the
am
example
ruined.
that we talked about is so relevant because the situation happens in almost every single pub I play ever, where the enemy will be hitting your safe lane tier 2 tower. The enemy will be hitting that tower in
Yes.
particular. In
Yes.
particular, when the
Yes.
enemies, I feel like in decent MMR games, when the enemy's strong, they know to like go hit that tower. That's the
Yeah.
specific tower they go to.
That's the first like
Your
tier 2 usage,
your safe lane tier 2
usually.
tower, and all of my teammates TP back and just fucking feed on
Yeah, I hate
cooldown
that's exactly what
every
happened.
game.
That's exactly what
That yep,
happened.
it was our safe lane T2
Dude, there's
tower.
so okay.
Wait, for
I need
people
to
watching, the right play is to go to the
attack
enemy's
theirs.
jungle and just attack their safe lane because the enemy's going to have vision down. They're going to be set up. These
Yeah.
things matter a lot
If you're
in the Dota
overwhelmingly
game.
powerful, you can go back and defend. Or if you have nice vision set up. But usually they're there first and they set
Usually
up
it's just
vision.
like fucking dark and you see like one
Yes.
carry hero hitting the
How
tower and
many
you TP
times
and
do
just
people
fucking
how many
die.
times is the carry hitting the tower and then your guy TP's in the trees and you see on the TP there's 13 people watching it, just like standing on the TP, and then they complete the TP and get completely one shot. Dude, what are you doing? Like, there's just no way you can TP there.
Yeah,
Um,
this guy said he fed there a lot, and it's like his brain turns off. I mean, honestly,
yeah,
I feel that, and because it's hard in the moment, even though I'm so convicted of this concept, it's hard for me not
yeah,
to TP there,
yeah,
because it really does feel like you're like letting your team down. You're not defending an objective, but this is why part of the reason we do this podcast is to get more convicted in our ideas. Because even
yes,
like talking about this right now in my
dude.
games today, I know I'm not gonna fucking TP there
You
because we
know
just
what?
talked about it, and I know that
Yeah,
it's like wrong for sure. I also wanted to say this guy said he feels like an imposter in his matches. He doesn't even know how he's winning. I offer
I like
coaching, so if
I
you want,
like
you can
okay,
hit me up on Discord and we can talk
yeah.
about if it's right for
I
you, if it's a good
know
fit for you.
I'm mode passenger. I don't even know how I'm winning. Because you're still winning. The key point is that you don't know how. And I've felt that before where like that makes me very uncomfortable, right? Because same thing, I mean, the most disturbing games is when you win and you don't understand why, or you lose and you don't understand why, right? If you lose and you understand, like the games that are very comfortable to lose is when I lose and I'm like, I had that really bad death, that team fight I misplayed, and like those are my two big mistakes. And I will literally be like 18-2, and those are my
Yeah.
two mistakes. And I'm like, okay. And then if I didn't do that, it's like that game was actually easy. And we'll have a lot of games like that where like I'll be like 18-0, you'll be like 18-0, whatever, and we'll die like once or twice and lose. And then like our frustration at first, we're like, dude, that was just such a hard game, which is true because we were carrying really hard. But the fact that it's like, oh, I just didn't have to make those two mistakes and I would have carried 1v9, my Giga Animals who like are all 0-50. So that game wasn't hard at all, actually. The game that's hard is when like sometimes we go against like just a way more robust stack and we're losing everywhere and it's like high ranked players. And it's like, dude, I don't even like we just got fisted. Like I don't even know what to say on that one. Those
Yeah,
are really
there was
disturbing.
no like it didn't feel like there was a chance of
Those
winning.
are probably the hardest ROI. Maybe not the ones where you're just getting giga stomp, but the ones where you don't understand why you're winning or losing are probably the highest ROI replays to watch, I would say. Because, like, yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of insights to be drawn from there. And those are probably the best replays to get analyzed by other people, too, because clearly, like, something in your understanding is lacking where a third party perspective makes it really nice or is like good analysis. Because
Yeah.
also, it's way easier to analyze other people's play than your own, I think.
Yep, I
Right?
agree. I
Yeah, it's
agree.
really easy
It's
for me to criticize other
in real
people.
life too, bro. My friend was talking to or Rador. I name drop docs, but it doesn't matter. It's his
Holy,
first
it's
name.
over. Yeah.
But yeah, I was talking to him about a business idea that he had, and I was like, I was cooking so fucking hard, right? Like
Okay.
so like unbelievably hard with like ideas and like telling him what he should do. And then
Yeah.
when it comes to like my own business, my Dota YouTube channel, I feel like if I was advising myself, I would like have much better ideas if that makes sense. And
Yeah.
it's the same thing in Dota. Like it's just so much harder in the first person. I don't know, like
Yeah.
always.
Yeah.
And then there's the trope that like you always give your friends like better advice in general, not even about
Yeah.
like business or like Dota,
That's
but
why
about like girls too, like people
yeah,
always
that's
cook with
true.
advice.
That's
So
why also
a good
this
framework I try
yeah.
to use is like what advice would I give myself if I was like
Yeah, it's so hard to
third
think of that
person?
though.
I don't know. I think even asking that question helps.
Here's what I think makes it difficult in Dota to evaluate your own play is when I watch the other replay, like if I watch your replay and I'm criticizing you, there's I have no emotional value attached to the game, and I'm willing to just like go in on you And like, I'm not feeling the emotions that you felt during the game, but when I watch my own replay, I'm remembering my emotions during the game. So like, I'll be watching your replay and be like, oh my God, you died once on Prophet. Animal, animal. Oh my God, you didn't rotate mid on the perfect 3-minute like water rune rotation. Like, you gotta like kill yourself. Like, what
Dude,
are you
you're
doing?
right. Dota's such an emotional game.
Yeah, but then when someone's criticizing my play, it's like, why didn't you come to 4-minute water? It's like, well, you didn't know that I was fighting over the hard camp and it was hella stressful, bro. Hella stressful. Like, I was pissed. And my 3 was griefing. So, like, I was already mad. Like, that's what I'm thinking when people are criticizing me. But when I'm watching, like, the other sport, I'm like, dude, go to the water room, man. You're griefing. And then, like, of course, they're defensive. They're like, hell no. Like, dude, you don't know what I was feeling. Or
That's
if I
so
get
it's so
criticized in my game,
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so interesting because the state of the Dota game changes with like in lane every level. Like I would
Yes.
say the state of the lane changes based on heroes' power spikes, but it's really easy to get attached to like your narrative of how you think the
Yes,
game is going.
exactly.
Like if you feel weak or strong, I think a lot of times is different than if you're actually weak or strong.
Yeah.
And something that helps me with that is just like thinking about heroes' power spikes before the lane. So like on Ursa, for example, I know that hero super well. I want to start calling myself the Ursa King, but I don't have the clout yet. But
Jesus.
I'll get
Okay.
there.
That's
Ursa's one of my
crazy.
best heroes. Yeah,
He's
no,
just
it's
such
kind
a
of crazy.
popular hero. So it's
Yeah.
like low key when you were playing a lot of PL, you're kind of the PL
I
king.
was. I was kind of the PL king. But dude, PL is
That was
such a
crazy.
shit hero right now. It's so
Yeah.
unfortunate. He's like one of the worst heroes in Dota.
Yeah.
For
Yeah. Yeah. Probably.
all you
I think he's like the worst, to be
Lancer,
honest.
yeah. All you Lancer clan members out there, like my heart goes out to you. We need to like
Can
get
we
together and
say?
have
I
like a
want to say really
funeral for
quick.
PL or something. Ideas like let me know for the pod because we can do basically anything.
Dude,
My
it's
thumbnail
interesting.
guy's
I mean,
pretty good.
not to go too in on the Lancer clan bit because that was about it, but it really is so much more of a cult than other heroes. Because even my heroes like Ember, right, or Pango, like they're like the Pango clan isn't like standing strong or something. Like when someone
Yeah.
picks Pang, I mean to be fair, when Quinn picks Pango in pro, I'm like, yeah, it's Pango, yes. But like I don't think it's like that surprising, right? Because Pango's like hella meta. And usually just a solid hero. But when you pick
Not that
PL, it's like a PL game, right? Like,
yeah. Not that Pango didn't fall off because he did, but I guess Pango's also a very different hero. But the old PL, you would literally just play for like your diffusal manta heart timing, and then you just wouldn't
that was it.
die if it
And
was
then it
like
was
a
that
decent
was the
PL
Lancer
game.
clan
That was
victory.
so sick. I don't know.
After that, it was literally
I
like
felt so powerful playing PL, dude.
no,
And
and
now
then
it's just he's literally a shell of himself.
because the thing is,
Phantom Lancer's literally a shell of
yeah,
himself.
he is a sad shell of himself. I think the other thing that's really nice about that timing is that like all the PLs just relate. They like self insert and relate so hard to the PL when they hit that timing because you watch the PL like get his ass beat for the first like 20-25 minutes, and then he hits the timing and like he starts popping off, and like you can viscerally feel like yes, it's over. We did it, boys. We did it. Like we got
Yeah.
him. Whereas like when you watch Pango, it's just like even if he's on his timing, like he's strong and killing people, but I'm not like, wow, like this is what I've been waiting for, boys. Because like
Yeah, it felt like
sometimes,
salvation was coming, you know,
yes,
when
exactly.
PL
Because
hit his
like when the
timing.
peel hits a timing, it's like the hero has arrived. That's what I'm talking about. But like the
Yeah.
Pango is just like sometimes you have a bad fight and sometimes you have a roll, and it's like nice roll, nice roll. Like that's how I feel watching. Like sometimes when I'm watching Pango, it's not hype at all, and then he hits like a nice roll in the fight, and I'm really just like, hey, that's what I like to see. But it's not like the visceral Lancer clan salvation. That's the difference. Is that when PL gets online, it feels like the holy, like the chosen one has showed up.
Kind of like anti-mage.
It's kind of like anti-mage,
I feel like
exactly.
anti-mage players are kind of culty as well. Not as culty as
They
the Lancer
are. The
clan,
problem
but
is that there's a lot of AM grifters. There's fake AM
yeah.
grifters, right? That like pick their anti-mage and they put a bad name on the AM because a lot AM's just a popular hero. Whereas there's no one like grifting on that PL. It's literally just PL enjoyers.
Yeah,
Which is
hardcore
why,
PL
yeah, that's
enjoyers.
why the Lancer clan is tight knit, and I really like that. I love that cult following for the hero.
I need to make
It's
a
a perfect hero
Discord or
for it.
something like the Lancer clan where everyone just
That would go
talks
so
about PL.
crazy.
Dude, speaking of PL actually, I don't want to go too in on PL,
It's
but
just the PL podcast.
DNM on stream
Okay.
played PL Armlet like in
Yeah.
his ranked
Yeah,
games and he
because
tried
the
it like multiple
damage, the
games.
damage.
Yeah, it
Was
did
it
not
good?
look good. No.
Armlet Daedalus? I'm kidding. I mean, there you got to cook up something.
He went Vlad's because you need sustain with Armlet. It's like
The
Vlad's
the
Armlet
Lancer, dude, the
Manta.
Lancer clan is sending its best scientists out to cook up
Yeah, and
for the
it's
new
not
patch.
enough. It's not
Yeah.
enough. But just so everyone knows, we're having an exciting guest on the next
Oh,
episode.
that's true.
On Saturday, Albino
Sunday,
Zebra.
right?
Sunday, yeah, sorry, Sunday morning. We'll
Sunday,
be
10
streaming it
a.m.
Sunday morning at 10
PST.
a.m. PST. Albino Zebra, really high rank, NA
Also
support
known as
player who
AZ1, also known as Albino or Oh, I was gonna say like albino ZTZ or
Albrino.
something. Albino
Albrine
ZTZ.
TZ. Albine
Albrine
TZ.
TZ. Yeah, there you go. Something like that. But he will be
Um,
here on Sunday, which
yeah,
is
I'm
super
excited for
hype.
that.
He's hella good.
We had a really good talk with him for like 5 minutes at the Marriott Hotel bar.
Yeah,
So
at
I
Raleigh.
think it'll be a good conversation.
Yeah, it was really nice. Yeah,
So
he's
be
hella
sure to
good.
tune into
So
that.
that's like a giga guest. So that'll be this Sunday. That'll be an incredible episode, I think. Not to like put some pressure on it.
No,
Oh,
let's
you
put all the
better.
expectations on it.
Yeah, there's hell expectations, but he's a great player. So I'm
Yeah.
honestly just like curious to. I want to talk to him and like
Yeah,
see what he
exactly.
has
And
to say about some
that's
stuff.
what makes for a good episode is like just
Exactly.
us wanting to talk to him. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really
So
curious.
tune
He's
into
a
that.
Jakiro specialist.
Yeah, Skyrath
12
is his
cam
favorite.
MR Jakiro specialist.
Jakiro is hella good, dude. Oh, okay. Just to go back, you released a great video, which was the Raleigh meta recap. That was a
Oh
fantastic
yeah.
video.
Yep.
Really concise.
Yep.
You did a great job at distilling like everything we discussed. Oh,
Thanks.
this is what I was. This is what I was gonna say as well. Is that because it's easier to. This was about it's easier to criticize others than yourself. But that's the nice thing about like this setup because I feel like I am really good at like dispensing a bajillion ideas about like like because it's nice because we discuss a lot of stuff and then you distill it down into like bite-sized information for people, and that like whole filtering process is really nice because if it was like me directly trying to communicate to people and or apply these concepts myself, it's really difficult. But like I'll just spew out information because you'll be asking about something, and then like through that parallel learning we actually distill it down to like information that is relevant, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas like self-applying, like if I was to like try to not parallel learn and come up with the identity idea on my own through criticizing my own games, that would be so much more difficult than like you and me parallel learning the identity idea through like criticizing other people's games and like pro. Like I think that kind of stuff. Yeah. Because another thing, this relates to the Lukey Mars game where the AA and the Mars or sorry, the Mars and the AA never connect. But once again, watching it is so much easier to criticize. Like I'm criticizing Lukey's Mars and like the AA for not doing the thing. And also, it's so much easier to learn from other people than learn from watching your own replays in the sense of learning new concepts. I think criticizing your own replays is a ton of ROI. So don't get it twisted.
Yeah. I think in terms of learning
I have
new
more to say.
concepts, yes, but
Yeah.
not in terms of like
No.
improving as a player.
Yes. You need, but like to identify what to improve on, I think it's easier to get ideas from other people's replays juxtaposed with your own, right? Because that like it's easier to identify what people are doing well in the other replays. Because what I was gonna say, like what that told me, that Lukey Mars situation, is that none of these players in this lobby watched Raleigh, right? Because if you watched Raleigh, it is so blatantly clear. Like you watch Raleigh and it's literally just Kunkka, and then he X marks Torrance the guy, and it's like Ringmaster and AA just pressing their spells, and the guy dies in 1 second, and they do it like 9 times in a row. It's like holy shit, that's really good.
I bet a lot of those people. Sorry, finish it up.
Yeah, but then like in the public, no one's doing that, and so I think it just makes it really clear when you see someone else do it, but it's harder to apply yourself. So I just have a feeling that no one in that lobby was like keeping up and watching Raleigh intently, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you for the sub, suited up, Mon. Really appreciate that.
Oh hell yeah!
For
dude.
the rest of you guys watching, if you want to support the show, you can hit me with a little primer, a little sub. It really means a lot to me.
Yeah.
And we'll be getting sub badges and stuff soon. So
yeah.
Thank
Also
you for
for the
supporting
chat.
Show.
After the show, we always like go through the chat and do a bunch of Q&A. So do not worry. We're seeing what you're saying, but it's just,
honestly, if you sub or support in any way, all the money's just gonna go straight back into the show, right? For production quality, paying for thumbnails, whatever it may be,
editor, etc. All of it. Yeah.
Yep. So thank you very much.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What I wanted to say to that is, I bet a lot of those people in the pub like watched Raleigh, but because it takes an extra step of like watching what's happening on the screen and then making like a concept out of it. So like it's one thing to watch the Ringmaster AA Sand King boom somebody, and then it's another thing to watch that and then say, oh, it's the gank squad killing patch, and so I need to pick AA and go stand next to a stunner, and things will just die, right?
Yeah.
That disconnect, I think, happens with a lot of people. Also, I think it's really cool. I found out that Arteezy and Gork collab to watch like some of Raleigh.
Oh, that's really good.
A sick combo. I'm kind of sad I missed it.
That's a sick
Dude, that should have been the main stage cast. Dare I say?
You can't even hear the cast when you're in the arena, to be honest. And to be fair, this is exactly what I was gonna say, relating to watching with intent or whatever, or like watching and understanding concepts versus not, is that, and this is fine, but I'm gonna go in on I'm gonna just actually just ego check and elevate myself above every single other player in the arena really quick. But I swear to God, no one is there to like watch and like learn Dota and analyze it, which is fine. They're just there to like just
Oh
like
no.
get some beers and just go stupid, and they're just going stupid because like, dude, I'm
Which
not
is
gonna
fun.
lie. Which is fun. No, like they're having a great time, but it's just really interesting because in the arena, it's like we're watching this like okay, there was a really heinous game. If anyone watched Raleigh, it was we watched we watched pretty much every game like in the arena and Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Was
But
it
there was
Betboom Paravision, right?
no, it was
Or
the
was it Betboom Tundra?
no, it was the Betroom Tundra, I think, like Tinker, or sorry, no, it was Paravision.
I
I don't
think it was
forget who they're
Paravision Betboom or Betboom Tundra.
no, it was Paravision, right? Because it was 9 classes Tinker. I'm talking about
Oh, yes,
that
yes,
80-minute
yes.
Tinker game.
Yes, that was
And
Paravision.
the whole time, it's a really tense game. Like it's really farmy, but like it's like dead even, and like you can just tell that like everyone's getting a ton of items. Everyone has insane net worth, and the game is just going to explode right in the first team fight. Like everyone is just gonna like there's gonna be like a huge team fight where everyone has every button, and like people are gonna like feed. And meanwhile, like you and me are like sitting there like discussing like this guy just hit his timing, like, oh, but like the Tinker is like splitting the lanes, like dude, it's hard for them to group. And then meanwhile, the whole crowd is watching the goddamn Kobold drink the thing over and over. It's like 9 times in a row the Kobold
Yeah.
takes a drink. Yes. And there was literally it was the 80-minute game winning team fight, and during it the Kobold's drinking out of the cup, and the crowd is like losing their minds, like, holy, he drank it again, and Pure is dying with the divine rapier and nobody's watching. Okay, like I was just pissed because the crowd started going stupid, and I'm looking up, I'm like, Pure's almost dead, and I thought they're going stupid about that, and then I looked down in the corner and the Kobold's taking a swig.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. And then there was another play where during the game where like they got a bunch of kills, but then they didn't go high ground. And the reason why was or I think it was their tiny. I think Satanic was tiny or something like that.
Yeah, it was tiny.
Didn't have buyback. Okay. He just used his buyback in the last fight. And then they just are farming and controlling the map beautifully. And we also played like an 80-minute like Tinker game recently where we controlled the map because it was really hard to go high ground. Like Tundra, like the old Tundra concept where you just like choke them out. But the whole time, you and me are discussing like, dude, Tiny has no buy. Like, yeah, that's really smart. Like, they're not going to go high ground. And then the cast, the cast is there to be entertaining, and the majority of the audience doesn't care to like hear the analysis. So the cast is like, oh, they're just gonna farm it up, and then the thing pops up time since last kill, 5 minutes. Everyone's like, yeah, that's the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. Yeah. And then they're like chanting like back to farming and stuff. I'm like, is anyone even watching the game, bro? Like, what is going on?
I just feel like a lot of people enjoy Dota like differently than we do. Like you and I, it's very much like about the game.
No, it's fine.
But I think for a lot of people, like I will say the vibes in the arena were pretty good when like the
they were incredible.
Everybody was cheering and people were like doing the wave in the crowd and shit. Like it was really funny. It was pretty funny. I was a little bit like I wanted to like talk about the analysis, or I wanted the casters to talk more about the game and stuff, but they did a good job keeping the crowd entertained. Something else I wanted to talk about now, and
wait, can I say one more thing on this? Because
sure.
this is slightly related, but I think this is another great important point. Not to criticize the cast, but I think goes to show that like their job is to entertain, and what's the most entertaining to viewers? Clowning the players and laughing at them. No, well, not just that, but laughing at how bad the players are.
It's funny because I was about to make the same point, just like when casters talk negatively about the players. And so a really good example is like Satanic Manta dodged the Centaur stomp, and then the cast was like, "Oh, Centaur whiffed the stomp."
No, because they were like, Centaur's not jumping. He's not jumping. Why is he jumping? And then he jumps, and Satanic like Manta dodges and gets out. And they're like, he's not. And then Cap was like, he's not jumping because he's gonna whiff anyway. I was like, bro, like that was clean.
Yeah,
but like, is it more fun? Like, I understand because like their job is to entertain, and like if they were like a nice Manta dodge by Satanic, that was a nice dodge. He probably thought of that before. Everyone.
I don't know, because that's what OD Pixel does. I think it's just a matter of like
a great job of hyping
framing, because you can look at that event. It's like literally glass half empty or like half full. It's literally
the casters are using their weapons.
I don't think they're using what?
the casters are using their individual weapons. Like I think OD Pixel is
Oh,
better at
yeah,
making
you're
the
right.
game just feel so
You're
intense and hype,
right.
and every
And
single
certain
play
casters are
looks.
better at like just being goofy and
When
like,
I watch OD
yeah.
Pixel, I'm like, dude, this is like peak Dota cinema right now, and like every player is so goddamn good. And then like you're watching like the Cap SVG cast, which is hell entertaining, but it's like the most NA cast where it's like the Kobold, go, he whiffed. God, he's so bad. He's so bad.
Yeah.
And like the
I
crowd's
just
loving it. They're
Yeah, no,
loving it.
exactly. That's what I don't like, that the crowd's loving it, because
Which
in
sucks.
my opinion, it's not like showing respect to like the best in
It's
the
pretty
world. Like
terrible vibes.
it to me, it just undermines what I'm watching on my screen, which is the best Dota in the world, right?
Yes, dude.
And like
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't like
There's so
clowning
many heinous
it,
comments
because
from
I
the
respect
arena,
the pro
and
players so
I don't want to
much.
call too many out because like we met a lot of people who watch the podcast, so it's funny to like call out their comments and like they watch. But that reminds me, another like heinous comment that's just like clowning unnecessarily and like not respecting the Dota they're witnessing was Nine Class was playing Slark, and he genuinely was having an incredible first like 5 minutes. And then what happened was there was one play where he wrapped behind the tower to like look for this TA, and the TA like kind of was like playing really safe, and then they started TPing heroes, and Nine Class is like, I need to get out, and he leaps up a high ground, like he's diving like the Radiant safe lane tower, and then he leaps up the high ground to the Watcher, and like because he got trapped on the low ground, and he's like, oh shit, I got trapped. Leaps up to the high ground, there's another trap, and the mid rotates, and then they kill him. And then I made a comment to you. I'm like, damn. I'm like, because he's been owning this whole time. I'm like, it's getting scary for Slark now. Like, he kind of needs 6 to live. And this guy next to us goes like, yeah, he's just trying to do way too much right now. It's
Oh
like,
yeah, that was awful.
it's like this is the best Slark supply, or Jesus, this
No,
is the
it
best
was-
Slark support player in the world, man. Cook him.
Yeah,
And he died
yeah.
once. This was his first step, and this guy's
Yeah.
like, this guy's kind of griefing it.
It was such like a Redditor.
It was like
midwit
very
energy.
Reddit. I was
He's
like,
he just needs to go park it in a lane and get 6. Like,
It was
yeah,
just-
he'd fucking do that if there was a lane available, bro. Like, but
yeah,
his
and
cores are taking.
it was just funny because it was like, I mean, I respect it as well. Like he's having a good time watching, but like it's just a completely different approach to what you're witnessing. Because I turn to you and I'm like, I'm thinking Hishi's. I'm like, dude, it's getting tough. Like he kind of needs 6, or else he can't really like make these psycho plays anymore. And that guy takes it as like we're shitting on the Slark, so he's like, yeah, he's so bad, and this guy just doesn't know what's going on right now. It's like, come on.
Yeah, no, being in the arena, one of the
Have
most
some respect,
interesting
bro.
parts to me was that you have no idea anyone's MMR. But
Dude, yes, I love that. No, I love
everyone's
that.
making comments. It was
Yes.
so fucking interesting.
It's actually, to be honest, I really love that because yeah, nobody knows anyone's MMR, and it's just like it's like an idea free for all.
Yeah.
Because like
fucking
normally,
anarchy.
because normally people like they're aware of the MMR, and like someone who's low MMR doesn't feel like they should share their opinions or not. But I really like the fact that
Not that
like,
you shouldn't share your opinions if you're low MMR.
no,
that's
I
not what you're
agree.
saying.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
should. Yeah.
No,
yeah,
that's
just
why I
wanted to be
like the
clear.
arena is because it's just literally it's the marketplace of ideas, and you just hear some of the worst shit you've ever heard in your entire life. There's another one where this Tinker support is like farming ancients and like getting the dangerous waves out, and his offlaner is having a really rough game. And let me just say, I don't think it's because Tinker. Okay, and also it's not like 5 minutes in the game; it's genuinely like 25 minutes into the game, and this is like. I already know this is exactly what people are saying in their Crusader pubs after they go 0 and 2000 on their off lane is like, they're like, this Tinker's just taking everyone's farm. And then some guy, this Tinker, by the way, is going to carry the game. Okay. Is what's going to happen. Nine Class is going to carry the game on Tinker. And then some guy goes, what they need to do is tell this Tinker to hold off and stop farming for a bit. And I'm just like, I'm sitting there like, Jesus
so far from
Christ,
what they need to
dude.
do.
What are you talking about, man? The
Yeah.
Tinker is not he's not griefing you. He's not
To be
griefing
clear, I do think that sometimes
takes a lot
your
of space and
cores,
stuff.
yeah, he does take a lot of farm. But I don't
Yes.
think the solution was tell Tinker to hold off.
Tell him to hold off.
Yeah.
Like, dude, no, man, no.
In that position, you're right. The Tinker is the one in the position to carry the game, like not necessarily the offlaner.
And he can farm much more dangerous waves. Like to say like Tinker is like Tinker is making space at the same time. I hate like if you would believe it.
It
I mean,
depends. It depends.
It also depends. Like, I mean, good Tinkers are supposed to go to the whole point about the TP is that you go to the space that's not being farmed by your team, right? Like, if your guy goes mid, you don't TP mid, you TP
Yeah.
somewhere else. If someone's not farming the triangle, you farm the triangle. But if someone's farming the triangle, maybe you farm like
That's
the side.
part of the
jungle duo
reason
camp.
why Tinker and Nature's Prophet are good is because the map's
And
so
Coddle.
big. So there's a lot to farm. So you can farm wherever you want.
Yeah, it's super, super
Coddle doesn't
casual.
fit that like as
Well,
much.
I just think he can farm I think supports that can farm like pairs of duo camps. Like there's a lot of pairs of duo camps, and usually not all of them are being farmed, right? Like one person's usually farming the triangle duo camp. There's the one all the way back behind the off lane duo camp that's very underfarmed, right? Because it's so far out the map. And then you have like the one by the tier 2 mid duo camp. And then you have the side jungle duo camp, right? So there's like 4 options, and usually not all 4 are being farmed. So as Tinker, you can just like select the one that's not being farmed and farm it, or like dangerous waves that are too dangerous for your team. But then, yeah, people are like, the Tinker's like taking the farm that no one's farming. This guy's like, if Tinker just holds off, his whole team like would actually have gold for once. Like, this Tinker.
That's not.
It's like just such. That's like exactly what he would say in his Crusader pub when he's getting carried by his support Tinker, man. Like, nah, dude, I hate you. Oh, but what I was gonna say, just really, this is just kind of anecdotal, but I just want to bring it up. Is yeah, dude, the arena just has so many like copers. It really is indicative of how people communicate in pubs. Because it was who was Bryle standing in for? That was Liquid, right?
Yeah,
because there was no Nisha. And
Bryle's really good, man.
Like, dude, he had an incredible Storm game.
Yeah,
where I think he was
really
reason,
impressed.
I think he was the reason why his team was winning, because he was on Storm. He was playing like Storm Coddle, but he was going like stupid. He was going nuclear. And then at the end of the game, Liquid ends up losing, and all like Liquid has a lot of. Liquid's my favorite team as well, or one of them at least. After this incident, but dude, Liquid has so many bandwagon fans, and they just hate Bryle in the arena.
Yeah.
Like there was someone standing behind me, like literally during the game, Bryle's like getting like a triple kill, and this guy goes, Bryle is just not doing it. He's letting me down. And then after, like literally, someone stands up, like, what is wrong with Bryle after they lose? And people are like, I hate him. God. It's like, dude, Jesus.
I feel like he played really well, to be honest.
He was playing insane, especially for a stand-in. Like he's replacing Nisha, dude. He like performed. And like people are literally like, I hate that guy. I'm like, these are just all like the people you get in your pubs who are just like the worst coping like animals that you would get. Like they're just so disgusting. But that's all I had to say. I thought that was anecdotally funny because it shows that people are there to enjoy for different reasons. Like all those Liquid fans are there to hit the let's go Liquid, and then Liquid loses. They're like, guy who's not on Liquid, you're so bad. You're so bad. Yeah. You're an animal. You're so bad.
I really enjoyed the game where it was Liquid Paravision. This is when Liquid got eliminated.
Dude, the Liquid tears were beautiful.
Me, and this guy who was sitting next to us were like the only ones in the arena cheering for Paravision.
The only 3. It was us,
and then
all the
everyone else would just
Russian.
go crazy whenever Liquid did anything.
No, it was just funny because Liquid literally like used 9 spells and kill like a soup, and everyone's like, yes, yes. And then Paravision would pull off the most immaculate team fight, and you and me are standing up like, there we go, hey, there we go. And we're the only people cheering in the whole arena. And then what really killed me is, I mean, this is just funny, but I remember like I'm not over exaggerating. Liquid would deward, and the arena would like erupt, and like people would start like losing their shit. It's like the Minecraft movie, like people start shooting off fireworks and stuff. It was crazy. Like anytime Liquid did anything. And then we would cheer when Paravision made a nice play. And this guy behind me goes, oh, Paravision fanboys. Paravision fanboys behind me. It's like, dude, fuck you, bro.
So funny.
Fuck you, Liquid bandwagoner, you piece. Yeah. All right.
I was cheering for Paravision. I feel like this is a cool anecdote. Before the event started, the night before, Thursday night, Pine and I were just like walking around Raleigh because we just flew in. And we saw Satanic and Ducalis just like chilling, talking. It was like an overcast evening outside the arena. Ducalis was smoking a cig, and they ended up winning the whole event, which was kind of cinema that we experienced that. And then we saw them doing that. But I could just tell, man, that they were like locked in, like something in Satanic's eyes, man. He was ready to play.
Dude, it was like raining, and like they have their like blue.
Dude,
I want a Paravision hoodie. Those are so clean.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, there was hella aura because they were standing out there like it's literally the 1 in 5 discussing the lane. Ducalis is having a smoke, and relating that to like I could like you said, I could just tell Satanic was like super locked in. He looked super locked in, and then another interesting anecdote, and this is something we discussed before, is the dangers of communication. I'm just going to drop this really quick, but you were talking to a sports or esports psychologist, and they literally wrote their thesis, like their master's or PhD thesis, on how using microphone in video games makes you perform worse.
Yeah, it's not as simple as that, because in psychology there are
that's not even what I'm going to say, but
that's
in
just, general.
Yeah,
and I agree with that anecdotally. Yeah, but it affects different people differently too.
It's a matter of communication, and also. Like, so what happened? There was another really tragic game for Paravision where Satanic genuinely was on TA, and it was his game. Like, he was locking this shit up.
Oh, yeah, this is a good anecdote.
And he was, like, way higher net worth than everyone in the
He was
game.
PA. He was PA,
Oh,
not
sorry, he was
TA,
PA.
which makes it
Yeah,
even more like
yeah,
lockdown.
and he was like, yeah, he was locking down the whole game. It looked like hopeless for. I think this was against Liquid, and Liquid was generally in shambles because he's just like dominating the whole game. He's having a perfect
It
PA
was a
game.
really close game, and then he got like an ultra kill or something
Exactly.
in the
No,
fight.
no, it was a really close game, and Liquid looked like they were winning, but Satanic hadn't showed up to anything, and he had like the most disgusting farm I've ever seen in my life. And then he showed up to a first fight and got like an ultra kill, and I was like, oh boy, we're just people living in Satanic's world right
And then
now.
he got like another triple kill, and it was
Yeah,
looking
so
like he was going to
so
carry
it was
the
looking
game.
like it was over. The game was looking over. And then his whole team was shit talking like the entire game, and he hadn't said a single word.
But it was
straight
more of just
locked
like
in.
banter. Like
It was
Liquid
banter.
and Paravision with like no one in Insania were like bantering. It was
Exactly.
like pretty lighthearted.
Everyone's all chatting, they're typing, and then Satanic goes, "You can't beat Satanic." Next fight, he just feeds disgustingly. Then the next fight, he feeds again, and they lose. And it's
Yeah.
like, I genuinely think if he didn't type in the chat, he would have just won the game. Right?
Yeah.
I swear.
I
Typing in the
actually
chat locked
relate.
him out.
I relate to that a lot because what it does is it breaks your flow state and it makes you think about things that aren't the Dota.
Because now you're like, I gotta win, or else
yeah,
I'm gonna
no,
be so
exactly,
embarrassed. Oh, no.
exactly. So you're not thinking
no.
about the Dota game, and his flow state was broken, and
Yeah,
he
and then
lost
just, like,
that
ruined
game.
the next two fights. And
that
lost.
was his game.
It was his game.
And he didn't all chat for the rest of the tournament.
Yes, yeah, he literally didn't type a single other word. I also think it's funny because, like, dude, I mean, I'm also a Liquid fan, but I just had to root for Paravision this event. They're so cool. But I remember after that game, like all the Liquid fans were like, dude, Satanic, like, and like this just goes to show like the arena, but like there generally was a stampede. Like they popped after the game, sent pop stampede on all 1,000 people in the arena or whatever, and they all run to the DHL drop signs to like write shit talk about Satanic, like you can't beat Satanic question mark, or like you can beat Satanic to pull that up. But it's just funny because like the way they view it is like that guy's so bad and Liquid shit on you so bad. But what happened is he threw. It was his game. Like Liquid could only win if he messed up. It was all in his hands, which is like a great place you want to be. This relates to what we've discussed before, which is that when you're carrying and you have the game in your hands, it becomes really easy to criticize your play because your decisions matter and it's all in your hands. So if you mess up, you lose the game. If you play perfectly, you win. The game is literally all about you.
What was funny to me about the Satanic thing is he's really young. He's like 18, 19, or 20 years old. I don't remember.
I think he's like 17.
No. He's at least 18.
Okay,
he used to be really young, but like years have gone by.
No, he's like 15, dude. I'm pretty sure he's like 17.
Like 3 years ago.
But...
No. I checked. I think he's 18.
Okay, he's 18. All right.
But he didn't all chat for the rest of the tournament, and I feel like it's a very like rookie mistake to do what he did.
Yeah.
And it's also interesting that he didn't like catch the vibe of the banter, I feel like, at all.
His was crazy.
Super lighthearted, and then his was like very intense.
He got like an ultra kill, and he goes,
personal.
"You can't beat Satanic," and then like everyone stopped typing. Literally, everyone stopped typing.
No,
it was just
got
like,
personal.
Yo.
Yeah. But all right, I think we're gonna call the YouTube session there. That was a pretty solid episode.
A great one.
Nice little Raleigh debrief. So,
you're gone,
we got a spammer.
You're
mods.
Blow up his house. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I'm on YouTube. Oh, something we should do, Pine, is delete the VODs, because I think a lot of people watch the VOD of our last episode, which is fine, but I think it like takes away from the exclusivity of the YouTube. Or make them subs only or something.
And the live viewers should be rewarded with
exactly. I want the live content to be like an event. You know, I don't want people to just be able to go back and
I agree.
Watch the VOD. It should be the VOD or YouTube. But if you guys want to support the show, you can sub on Twitch or give like a YouTube super thanks. Yeah, it's gonna be a banger episode this Sunday, and we'll do a Q&A with him. We'll do a Q&A with him at the end.
So that's
really good incentive. No, you're right. That's sick,
Q&A
bro.
with ZTZ. Scourge of NA qualifiers, the NA qualifier gatekeeper.
Damn, how do I get that out there that we're gonna do a Q&A with?
Well, just put it on your.
Low-key, people might come just for the Q&A. That's cool.
Well,
I'll probably write about it in my YouTube status.
You can mention it if you make another video. You can just mention it at the end as well. I feel like using the end because the format you have for your videos. By the way, I think the YouTube section's done. Thank you, YouTube, or whatever. Unless you have more to say.
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of wanted to say thanks for tuning in, guys. And
of course,
don't forget if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, or subscribe. It goes a long way for us, for the show, and it's just a win-win. It doesn't cost
as a viewer, your weapon is like, commenting, and subscribing, guys. You got to use your weapon, okay? Our weapon is speaking. You got to like, comment, and subscribe. Yeah. We can coexist. You're the AA. I'm the Mars.
Don't worry, Sly. You didn't miss it. We're about to do.
You didn't miss it. We're about to do a Q&A.
Yeah, but yeah, on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
See ya. Good content.